How to invest in real estate with no money. Hey everyone, welcome back to Finance Compass, where we navigate the world of money together, one smart move at a time. Today's episode is going to challenge what most people believe about wealth. You've probably heard people say, "I'll start investing when I have more money." Or maybe you've thought that real estate is only for the rich, people with big savings, fancy suits, and huge bank loans. Well, here's the truth. You don't need piles of cash to start investing in real estate. In fact, today, I'm going to show you how to invest in real estate with no money. Yes, zero upfront. Stick around till the end, because you'll also learn how ordinary people, like you and me, are building wealth using creativity, strategy, and other people's money. Meet Daniel, a 29-year-old graphic designer. He works remotely, earns a decent income, but feels like he's running on a treadmill, earning, spending, saving a little, but never really growing his wealth. One day, while scrolling through YouTube, Daniel watches a video where someone says, "Real estate is the ultimate wealth builder." He pauses, smiles, and thinks, "Yeah, right. If you have millions." He looks at his bank account. It's barely $500. He laughs and shakes his head. "I can't even buy a parking spot with this." But that thought stays in his mind. A week later, during lunch with his friend Sarah, he brings it up. "Daniel, you ever think about owning property one day?" Sarah, "All the time. But come on, you need big money for that. Land prices are crazy." Daniel, "That's what I thought. But I read about people who start with no money." "Like, how?" Sarah, "No money? Sounds like a scam." Daniel, "That's what I want to find out." And that's where Daniel's journey begins. The mindset shift. Stop thinking you need money to start. The first big change Daniel had to make was mental. He realized that rich people don't buy assets with their own money. They control assets using leverage. That's the first secret of real estate wealth. Most beginners think, "I need to buy a house." Wealthy investors think, "I need to control property." There's a huge difference. Control can mean renting, leasing, or managing an asset that you don't own yet, and turning it into cash flow. Daniel started learning about creative financing. He spent nights watching videos and reading blogs about real estate strategies that don't require big capital. He discovered something called OPM, other people's money. Banks, private investors, even sellers themselves, all could be potential partners. That idea changed everything for him. Before Daniel did anything risky, he decided to educate himself. He spent one full month just learning. He watched free videos on real estate basics, terms like equity, ROI, cash flow, cap rate, lease option, and wholesaling. He took notes. He joined real estate Facebook groups. He attended free online webinars. And soon, he realized something powerful. Information is the cheapest form of investment. One night, his mentor, Mr. Ahmed, a retired property investor, told him, "Mr. Ahmed, Daniel, when you don't have money, your greatest asset is your time and knowledge. People with money need people with ideas. If you bring value, they'll bring capital." Daniel, "So I should focus on learning first?" Mr. Ahmed, "Exactly. When you understand how the business works, you can find opportunities others can't see." So Daniel set a goal. He'd become valuable enough that people would want to work with him. A few weeks later, Daniel stumbled on a strategy called wholesaling real estate. Here's how it works. You find a property being sold below market value. Maybe it's an old house that needs repairs or a landlord who wants to sell fast. You negotiate a contract to buy it at a certain price. Then you find another buyer, an investor, who's willing to buy it at a higher price. You sell the contract to that buyer and keep the difference as profit. You don't need to own the house. You just need to connect sellers and buyers. Daniel thought, "Wait, I can do that." He began walking around his neighborhood, noting empty or rundown houses. He called the numbers on for sale signs. He He started building a list of motivated sellers. After a few weeks, he found one. An elderly man wanting to sell his rental property quickly because he was moving abroad. Daniel negotiated the deal for $25,000. He then found a local investor who was willing to pay $28,000. He made $3,000 profit without owning the property, without paying anything up front. That first deal changed his mindset forever. Was talking to Mr. Ahmed again. Daniel, wholesaling works, but it's a lot of calling and walking. I want something more long-term. Mr. Ahmed, then start partnering. You don't need all the money, Daniel. You need the right people. Partnerships are one of the most powerful ways to invest in real estate with no money. Here's how Daniel used it. He met a woman named Linda, a nurse who had been saving money but didn't know how to invest it. She wanted passive income but didn't have time to manage properties. Daniel proposed a deal. He'd find and manage the property. She'd provide the down payment. They'd split the profits, 50-50. They bought a small 2-bedroom apartment using a mortgage in Linda's name. Daniel handled tenant management and maintenance. Within months, the apartment was rented, and both started earning monthly income. That partnership taught Daniel that money follows trust. If you bring time, knowledge, or management skills, you can partner with people who bring capital. Together, you both win. After his first success, Daniel wanted to expand, but he still didn't have much money saved. That's when he discovered another powerful tool: seller financing. In seller financing, instead of borrowing from a bank, you make payment arrangements directly with the property owner. Let's say a seller is offering their property for $60,000. Instead of paying the full amount, you agree to pay $6,000 as a down payment, and the rest over 5 years, directly to the seller with interest. You get ownership or control of the property immediately. Daniel found a small commercial property where the owner was tired of managing tenants. He offered to buy it for $50,000, paying $5,000 down and $750 per month for 5 years. The owner agreed. Daniel rented out part of the space to a small cafe and another section to a printing shop. The total rent he collected was $1,200 per month. After paying the seller $750, he was left with $450 monthly profit from a deal he started with only $5,000, borrowed from his partnership profits. That's the power of creative thinking. A year later, Daniel was ready for something bigger, his own property. He found a 4-unit building. It cost $120,000, but he didn't have enough for the down payment. Instead, he used a government-backed mortgage program that allowed him to put down only 5% since he was going to live in one of the units. He rented out the other 3 units. The rent from those covered the mortgage completely. He was living for free, and the property was appreciating in value. This method is known as house hacking, and it's one of the smartest ways to start investing in real estate with little to no money. If you can live in one unit and rent out the others, your tenants literally pay your housing costs while you build equity. Daniel told Sarah, "Daniel, imagine I'm living in my own house, but technically my tenants are paying for it." Sarah, "You're kidding. That's genius." Daniel, "It's all about using what you have, not waiting for millions. But what if you don't even want to deal with tenants or properties at all?" Daniel soon discovered REITs, real estate investment trusts, and crowdfunding platforms. These are digital ways to invest in real estate with little money, sometimes as little as $10 or $100. When you buy a REIT, you're basically buying shares in a company that owns and manages income-generating properties, like apartments, hotels, or malls. They pay you dividends regularly, just like owning real estate, but without the hassle of fixing toilets or collecting rent. Daniel opened an investment app, bought $200 worth of a real estate ETF, and started earning small monthly dividends. It wasn't much, maybe $5 to $10 a month, but it was passive income. And more importantly, it proved something. Anyone can start investing in real estate today, even with no property, no tenants, and no big savings. Daniel made mistakes too, like underestimating repair costs, trusting the wrong tenants, and missing deadlines. Mr. Ahmed reminded him, "Mr. Ahmed, real estate is not a get-rich-quick game, Daniel. It's a get-rich-sure game. But only if you manage risk." Here are a few lessons Daniel learned the hard way. Always inspect a property before committing. Have written agreements for every partnership. Keep an emergency fund, at least 3 months of rent or expenses. Don't rush, the right deal will come. And most importantly, never invest in what you don't understand. Over time, Daniel grew more confident and careful. He realized that patience and persistence were his strongest currencies. 2 years later, Daniel owned a few small rental properties, managed several for others, and had consistent monthly income. He was no longer living paycheck to paycheck. One afternoon, he met Sarah again for coffee. "Sarah, you actually did it! You're in real estate now." Daniel, "Yeah, and guess what? I never had to be rich to start." Sarah, "So, what's the secret?" Daniel, "The secret? There's no magic. Just learn, connect, and start small. Use what you have, borrow what you need, and build as you go." Sarah smiled. Sarah, "Maybe I should start too." Daniel, "You should. Start by learning. That's free." And that's the moment Daniel realized. He wasn't just building wealth, he was building confidence. What you can learn from Daniel's story? If Daniel's story teaches us anything, it's this: you don't need money to start investing. You need creativity, courage, and consistency. You can use other people's money, partner skills, or digital tools. And even if you start small, your momentum grows. So the next time you think, "I'll start when I have more money," remember, it's not about how much you have. It's about what you do with what you already have. Start by learning. Build relationships. Explore creative options like wholesaling, partnerships, seller financing, or REITs. And who knows? A year from now, you might look back and say, "That was the day I stopped waiting and started building." Thanks for tuning in to Finance Compass. If you found today's story helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who's been dreaming about owning real estate but doesn't know where to start. Tell us in the comments, which method would you try first? Wholesaling, partnerships, or digital REITs? Remember, the journey to financial freedom doesn't begin with money. It begins with a mindset. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep navigating your way to wealth, one smart decision at a time.